how surprised were you to learn that the Giants were going to run it back with Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll, especially after hearing what co-owner John Mara had to say and how, I don't know if you agree, but to me, it sounded almost like he had to choose the lesser of the poison, so to speak.
Look, I think sometimes we can get emotional. We can, and sometimes, as you all know, Patricia, like emotion, if that's going to drive our decision making, it can also lead to some irrational decision making. I think anytime, anywhere in our lives that you think that we want to make a decision and you want that decision to turn out to be accurate, what you have to do is remove the emotion from it and use empirical data. You want to use good sound judgment, which means you can't lean into your energy. You may feel like saying, okay, let's fire the general manager, fire the head coach. But then what does that leave us? What position does that put us in? Does that really make us better? And I look at the Giants as one of the better organizations around the National Football League that is very sound in its judgment, that's very patient. As you well know, that's not something you find across the landscape of the National Football League. In fact, the commissioner just recently told NFL owners at the owners meeting that they have spent over the last 5 years over $800 million to NFL executives and head coaches who are no longer working. That's how much money is being spent, because when you fire them, you got to pay them. They all have guaranteed contracts. I'm talking your general manager and your head coach. So I think that you've got to factor that in, because that's so wasteful that I don't even know how it's sustainable. I will say this, that I think we forget what Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll inherited, right? It was a Giants team that was in salary cap purgatory. And I'm not being light on that. That's kind of, being very nice about it. They had to dig their way out of that. They had to say goodbye to some really good players. I remember really good players like James Bradbury, Leonard Williams, guys they would have preferred to have kept. But because of the cap situation, they had to dig a deeper hole before they could begin to dig out. And now you find yourself a couple of years into this, 3 years to be exact, giving them a little bit more time to do that. And I know that's probably not what the majority of the fans want, but I think if you step back and void yourself of the emotion, you see that it really is the right thing to do.